Hey guys, um, I best thing about this project is being honest with yourself, and being honest with others, and just being okay with different things that have happened, or just being okay, just accepting that they've happened and moving on with a more positive outlook. Um, so I was just sitting at dinner then, and everything was fine and having a good time, and like something hit me, and it just like I get into this mode of just me like staring into oblivion, and I started thinking about a family friend of mine who who committed suicide, like I think it was like a year ago, and the the anniversary for it is just a couple of days. It's like the 3rd of June. There's just so much, I guess, confusion and regret that goes into it. And I know that he had his issues, but people just thought he was just this irresponsible and reckless kid when he wasn't. He had bipolar disorder, and he never really was just dealing with a lot of confusion a lot of the time. And he was just such a nice kid. I remember we would always go with them on family trips, and he was just fun. Like the times we had with him and his brother, and it was just great. And I know it's stupid to blame yourself for these things, because at the end of the day, it's his decision. But there's just there's a frustration that I feel, and just turmoil, I guess, with all of this, because he really deserves something better. I know he's a good kid. I could just tell. I knew he wasn't this kid who was what other people think he was, because he was, and he had friends, and he was kind, and he was always fun to be around. I guess I just want to go through a couple of things for anyone who is dealing with some sort of grief, and especially someone who committed suicide. Doesn't represent who they are, doesn't represent who he is or who he was. There's so many thoughts that go through our heads, and they are just thoughts until you act on them. And unfortunately he did. It's just I think it's just unfair to put this label on someone who's passed away. Yes, it was self-inflicted, it was suicide, but it wasn't him. I know it wasn't him. I know he had his issues, but that does not define him, and that's not fair at all for anyone to judge someone after their death, especially when it's just someone who's just young and innocent and it's just trying to find their way in the world. did and I know he didn't want to do. I know I know he was struggling to find some sort of peace, but he deserves so much better. He deserves so much better. I think a lot about the time when I tried to, at least attempted to commit suicide, and that was one of the worst days of my life. And I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm just annoyed that I ever tried to, because I've come out and I've seen how great life is, and how the simple things are just amazing, and how I could have missed out on that had I had followed through. And God knows, I just, and then I see from the other side, and that happened to him, and what he did, and how that's impacted me. It's just, I'm shaking. It's just not what happens. You grow up with these people, and you go on trips with them, and you're not supposed to lose them by something just as simple as that. That's not how it's supposed to go, and I don't want to just accept that anymore. I don't want people to lose something that is so important to them because they didn't know how to act, or didn't know how to help. I think the second thing I want to mention is that if you know someone who's maybe been going through a tough time, or you just don't know, and they've been offline, or you haven't seen them for a bit, please check up on them. They could be the happiest person in the world and nothing could be wrong, right? But mental health can take anyone. Depression and anxiety affects nearly everyone at one point in their life, and just please check up on your friends, please. I wish we would have stayed in touch more and actually made the effort to go see them more. And that's just a lesson learned, I guess. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing anyone can do in this situation. It's just move on and learn from that. The next thing I want to talk about, the third thing, is that I don't think you'll ever truly move on from these things. You'll get better, but there will always be something in the back of your mind that reminds you of them, and what you lost, what could have been, and that's just thinking in despair. Really, it's cool to think about the good times, and how I think about a lot of them. I do. But at the same time, there's no way we can, repeat those or get them back. So you just gotta say, okay, life goes on. Best thing you can do is learn from them and honor them in a way that is most appropriate for them. Live each day loving life, even if you don't love it, just try at least. It's so hard to just say it and it you speak into existence, but some people never see that light, and I see that light, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful life. It's incredible. It's way better than the darkness that I had going around me for a long time. And I know for Ryan that it was so much better for him. I don't care if I sound weird. I don't care about anything right now. I'm just missing someone who it's just not with us, and I gotta move on, and everyone else has to move on. But we need to learn from these. There's too many people who go through life scarred, and they feel the only way is just out. These are not the type of videos I really want to make, but when things come up and I think of something that needs to be said, I want to say it. I don't care if I'm crying. A lot of people have seen me cry, so I don't really care about that. And it's just good to do, I guess. You can't just gulp and let the feelings just go under. It's great to cry, and I feel better after doing it. Now, we'll talk about grief more in later content, but this is something that is just really close to me and has sentimental meaning to me. And I'm sure other people out there are grieving someone. Doesn't matter if they commit suicide or not. They just wish they could have done something, or just wish they were here. I don't know what else to say. You just got to move on and learn from that. I'm going to live in a way that honors him, and that honors every other person who was forced to take their own life due to these demons. That's what I call them, I guess, that trap them. It's not fair. It's not fair, man. It's not the way we're supposed to go. There's so many ways that we can all have our own ending. But suicide just doesn't justify the life of someone. It's just unfair. It's just, and I don't want to shame anyone who's attempted or anyone who's, I don't want to put shame on anyone whose families have been affected by this at all. I don't. It's just, we need to take this seriously, not just say we're gonna ask our mates, are you okay, and check up with them. You just gotta do it. You just gotta ask them. You can get a hold of your mate in click of a button. So just do it. It doesn't take that long. All you have to do is catch up for coffee or go for a walk, because those save lives. And I know that if I or someone else close to Ryan had talked to him and went for walks with him or for coffee or something, he would be here. And I guess for anyone who is struggling and have had those thoughts, you know that you're not alone, and you know that you're not wrong with having these thoughts. It's not something wrong with you. It's just something that's been plaguing you, and it's had its effect on you. And a thought is a thought, and that's where it stops. It's where you need to tell someone, and they need to be alerted, because when you're all alone with your thoughts, it's dangerous, and you don't know what can happen. I know it's like number 4, but you can't save everyone. You can't stop every bad thing from happening, but we can try to prevent it. The best part about life is the people that you get to spend it with. It's not anything else, it's just the people and the great place that we have to interact with these people. And if these people aren't here, then it pushes us down further. That's not how it goes. I'm not accepting that anymore. I'm not. It's not fair. Thanks for watching. I hope you found something from this, and just please take care. And when it all gets hard and you feel like giving up, just look to the most important people in your life, and I promise you that if you were gone, they would cry every single day, and they wouldn't move on for years and years to come. So please take care of yourself, take care of others, make an effort. You have the time to do that, so make an effort to help your friends and to help your loved ones. Make an effort, please.